die, go all in it to win it, whatever the heck you want to say, do or die, win or lose, give it all you got, whatever on earth you want to say, because I've been hearing these little keywords all over the place. YouTube, what up, what up, what up? How's it going? Season 4 of Osiris League, the grand finals, the big final show is upon us. We're 1-0 to 60 GT, who are looking to potentially be crowned the Osiris League Season 4 Grand Champions. They have gone through hell and back through the realm of Bassets to make it to the Osiris League Grand Finals, winning that realm and placing themselves among the top 4 best alliances this season in Ark of Osiris. They fell short on their mission to win the title in the first attempt, at least on that best of 3, by a massive defeat. Can 534 come back and take 960 for a ride to send us to a game 3 in this best of 3, or is this going to end today? We have 2 insanely capable teams, but one was clearly the stronger one of both in that last match, and we saw that happen big time. PX34 had possibilities, had a good start, a really strong start, and then lost it all to 60 GT slow and steadily, and things are about to get dicier and dicier as match number 2 in this best of 3 is about starting in about a minute and a half. In the comments down below right now, let me know, who do you guys think is going to win? In my opinion, the PX34 have a lot to prove. They have a lot to prove. Can they prove that they can take this to game 3 at least to keep this competitive, or are they gonna get swept? We nonetheless put our faith in PX34, looking to get some sort of coins out of this scenario, where most of you almost a 10-to-1 ratio in the bets going in the favor of 60 GT. PX34 can do this. They just need to get in and play their own game. Last time around, they never got the chance to set the momentum, set the pace, set their own game plan. They primarily reacted consistently to what 60 GT was doing. And so for them to win this match, they're going to have to figure out how they take the momentum into their own favor, how they dictate the momentum, the pace, who hits what, where, and why. And we will see that happen maybe in about 15 seconds or so. Any comments right now is the time before we go into caster mode. And when we do, it's strictly Ark of Osiris shoutcasting. Let's get that sip of hot coffee. And here we go. Can we get in the match? Get this restarted really quickly. Watch. Get in. Ladies and gentlemen, Osiris League Season 4 Grand Finals. Game 2, 1-0 to 60 GT as the Osiris League Grand Finals are upon us. It is time once more to show you the 30 versus 30 that are about to combat for the title of Osiris League Season 4 Grand Champions. 60 GT versus PX34. All the marbles, everything to play for. It is now or never. Some PX folks changing their display pictures to look alike. You have some title and name players. Way to go, Lilith. We can always count on you guys to get things done right. The Tiltle. It's Tiltle too. It's not even title. It's Tiltle. Cool. That's always nice to get us started with a smile on our face, as this is what they're fighting for, to put their name on the big building for the next season, as they have gone through hell and back. 60 GT beat the whopping JST WIB. They went through champions over champions. So did the folks in 34 PX34. They had to go up against 94 VNs, V636, capable teams. And a minute and a half before Ark of Osiris begins, let me give you a quick rundown of Ark of Osiris in case this is your first match ever watching Ark of Osiris. This is the Osiris map. The way this works is both teams of a 30 versus 30 are divided into the blue and red camp. This map is a mirrored map. If you take a look at the yellow building all the way in the middle, there's like a line that cuts off. You can see Shrine of War on both sides. The map is a mirrored map, which means both teams have the same exact buildings and the same exact configuration, the same exact everything. The way this game mode works is simple. Within the next 56 minutes or 57 minutes, the 30 players are going to have to do whatever they can to gain as many points as they can for the remainder of time. When the time hits 0, well, so does the match, and whoever has the most points at that time is the victorious side. The way you gain points is 3 very important ways. The easiest, cheapest way to get some points is by gathering on the provision tiles right here, the caravans. You provision, you gain points. Pretty straightforward. The other very important way, and one of the most popular ways of gaining points, is by occupying buildings. Once you go into a building, you tap the building, you get occupation on that building. You're going to have to hold on to it for between 3 to 1 minute. And once you do, and the building is locked in your team's favor, you're going to start gaining points every single minute, both individually as well as a team. And there's, of course, a first occupation bonus, which is extremely important. The most important buildings to keep your eyes on are the desert and sky altars, who are the 4 most important, biggest building point-wise in the game. They're 150 points every single minute, and they're 600 of the 1,180 total points. As the match begins, we are seeing some backups teleported in for PX34. So just a quick note, the PX34 have fielded a couple of subs in the process, and they're now gunning it out to the initial buildings. The outposts of Set and Iset are the first buildings that unlock, and the key building in this stage are the obelisks. The obelisks are essentially buildings in which once you occupy them, you're going to gain a certain amount of teleports for every single few minutes you play in the game, and that'll allow you to teleport out to this territory, out of the initial territory, which is a 1.5 minute long march that you're saving back and forth as these teams are pouring out some marches out here. Let's take a look at them in full resolution. Shout out to Lilith for finally adding the unsimplified graphics on the vision part of Ark of Osiris. And so with that being said, both teams are now racing to gain the first buildings to be occupied. And those are the obelisks and outposts. As I mentioned, we're 1 for 1 in the buildings. Neither team has yet to use hard push, though. One of the most important common metas in this game mode is hard push in the early stage. It's a skill that drops off a whole minute worth of occupation in return for the next 5 minutes. And so that makes it so you occupy buildings a little bit quicker, a minute quicker. Neither team has chosen to use hard push just yet. Obelisk taking 3 full minutes to get it, and so on the bottom side as well. So at this stage, red team a little bit, a slight itty-bitty ahead in terms of the overall situation. They have grabbed their 2 first buildings first by a slight margin. And now we're just taking a look at the overview. There's nothing really crazy to look at and drill down into just yet. Once the fights go into the middle buildings towards the Shrines of War, Shrine of Life, and Sky Altar and Desert Altar, that's when we're going to start micro-looking. But for now, blue team taking a big boy lead. They take both their obelisks and all 3 outposts. Just like that, the red team is still struggling to pick up their second obelisk, and 2 outposts have still not been taken. A slight bad start, a slight iffy start for PX34. You don't want to start on the wrong foot. Although these are minuscule points, they'll be behind maybe 100 points or so. But this is the kind of things you don't want to be missing out on in the very first stages of this game. Now the red team finally fully occupying all the first occupation building areas, and now both teams are gunning it towards their opposition's desert altars. The next cookie cutter move in the meta is both teams tend to invade each other's desert altar while securing their own Shrine of War, Shrine of Life, and Sky altars. Right now, the red team doesn't seem to be pushing with too big of a presence. There is a garrison by 12 trying to get to potentially pick up a building, and here comes all the reinforcement from the folks of PX34 back here coming towards the desert altar. Blue team is a little bit ahead in that sense. They have already reached the red side of the map with some of their marches and more coming in. A lot of XYs on the field. We're seeing them all over the place. Just a swarm of XYs coming down, and a couple of Ethelfleds to top it off. No garrisons. There's a garrison right there for 60 GT, holding back to garrison the Shrine of War. Looks like both teams are opting to garrison with Jadwiga garrisons in this Ark of Osiris. In Osiris League Grand Finals, which, by the way, just an FYI, all teams, both teams, whatever teams have all commanders and all troops alike. Full commanders, 2 million of each tier troop, of each tier 5, and 500k of each of T1 Cavs, which was an old meta back in the day. They maintained nonetheless. A couple of garrisons coming up here for the folks in PX34. They are looking to try to get this Desert Altar, which is getting just a huge blue presence coming to defend it. While we're at it, the blue team is big push towards the red Desert Altar. They're coming in hard, and the red team doesn't seem to have as big, oh, never mind, that presence. It's just a few moments behind. But thankfully, those few moments are not a big deal. No loss, no gain. There is just going to cause a little bit of an extra situation as the fight is going to happen closer to Desert Altar. We're going to have to keep an eye on the map, ladies and gentlemen, because the map will tell you exactly who picks up which building first. Lion, I appreciate you becoming a member. Thank you very much for joining the Baby Geckos. Drop some hearts in the chat for our new member. But anyway, here comes the fight for the big buildings. 19 seconds until they open up. We're going to keep the map in big because we're going to want to see exactly which team picks up what building. So keep your eyes on the map. While we're looking at that, the top Desert Altar is also having these fights happening, but they are happening further out from the Desert Altar. Now the red team pushes towards the top Desert Altar. This is problematic. Top Desert Altar has a lot of red presence around it. It is picked up by blue team. Blue team also pick up the bottom Desert Altar. Desert Altar occupation party by the blue team, who also take their opposition's Shrine of Life to get started. And the Adwiga, 3 Adwigas, as a matter of fact, remain out here with their capes hanging out because they don't have a building. The blue team prioritized so much the Shrine of Life, they didn't even pick up their own Sky Altar until now. And oh my goodness, 60 GT starting strong and starting very well. They put a Adwiga in this garrison and they're just trying to hold, but there's no chance of holding for 2.5 minutes with such red presence out here. It's simply not going to happen. For the red team, on the other hand, they're trying to take away this from the blue team's occupation, but the blue team having the occupation and now being able to solo swarm slowly and steadily the swarms away from their buildings and now taking a Shrine of War away from the red team. Oh boy, looks like the red team focused a bit much on the Desert Altar, which they did not pick up in the early stages like they should have. And, well, what do you know? Just like that, we end up at a scenario where the blue team own a huge portion of the map and we barely have started the match. 10 minutes into this match, and the blue team, being a little bit ahead in the overall points, are looking to score some first occupation bonuses, which will shoot them up in terms of how many points per minute they're going to be making and how many points they have in general. And that's just going to be huge trouble for the team in red. Stabilizing, though, grabbing their Shrine of War, their Desert Altar back. That is good news. They will want to grab their Shrine of Life back within the next minute and a half, or else they'll forfeit 400 points worth of a lead for the team in blue, who will get this first occupation points. While we're at it, the red team also take away their own Shrine of War back into their own favor. However, this building is not that well defended. It might go down by mistake just with this little swarm going on. Jadwiga coming in to refill this very light garrison, and probably a garrison captain, will mean that this Shrine of War will maintain itself secured. While that's happening, the Shrine of Life needs help, and it needs it now. But there's 5 minutes until the Ark spawns in the middle, and teams have already started slightly posturing towards middle presence. 60 GT already having people in the middle zone. Red team also already postured in the red zone. They know that this middle fight is going to determine pretty much who wins this match. And so it's going to be key to success in order to win for the folks in PX34. And it doesn't look like PX34 so far have this well-oiled machine that they need to have in order to beat a team like 60 GT, who are about to take a first occupation on this Shrine of Life. 400 points to the blue team's lead for free, pretty much. 14 seconds remaining, and there's just nothing this swarm can do to take this garrison out in time. There's just too strong of a garrison in here with the Jadwiga and a couple of other marches in here. First occupation successful for the blue team, and a massive lead. And so we're going to have to see what is going on as buildings start occupying successfully for the team in blue and for the team in red. They take their Sky Altar successfully. Now they're waiting on their Desert Altar and their Shrine of War to take for points. Shrine of Life goes away to the team in blue, who take a 400-point lead for free and a point per minute lead of 240 points every single minute, which are going in the favor of the team in blue. 60 GT, who are now sending a solo YOLO rally just to keep the Desert Altar. You know, you want to keep the Desert Altar in check. You don't want people to just abandon their garrisons. This is we're checking to make sure you guys are staying within your confinement of defending the buildings. While that's going on, PX34 lost that middle fight majorly last time. They had a huge problem grabbing arcs. And so they're not going to make that mistake again. They're trying to bring as many forces as they can to the middle. But 60GT, recognizing that, they know that they can do the same exact thing. And as long as they do the same exact thing as PX34 and continue to do it better, which so far they have been doing tremendously better. I mean, what else can you do? Let's take a look at PX34. They need this first arc. They need that first successful pickup because they're now quite a few points behind. The main reason for that is their buildings haven't fully locked in yet in their favor. Once that happens, which just happened, that final building came in, occupied the Shrine of War. That brought them to a 1,300 point deficit. 400 points of those of first occupation bonus, and then from there, every single minute that they've owned buildings that the folks in red haven't is points per minute in the favor of the team in blue, who are now only 160 points per minute every single minute in the lead, but they still are nonetheless. 590 points every minute is the cutoff point. That is where you know you are at the 50-50 mark, and for the team in blue, as long as they keep owning this Shrine of Life, I mean, they're just going to keep making 80 points every single moment more than the team in red. And that's just good news. That's straight up. That's what they want to do. They want to be not only 80 points, they're going to be 160 points ahead. They're going to be 80 points because they take the building. So that's minus 80 points for the one side and plus for the other. So that's 160 points that this building really means, which is kind of nutty. As the middle fight is gearing up, if you're enjoying the stream chat, don't forget to slap a like on it and hit that subscribe down below if you're new to the channel, as we are probably going to wrap Osiris League Season 4 with this match coming up. War drums being dropped. Here we go. War drums are dropped way ahead of time. There's still March time. All of this March time is timer on their war drums that is going down. Skills being fired by PX34, and they're charging. They are going in. 60GT war drumming just the same. They knew to wait till the last second so they don't waste any second of March time on their skills, and there is a bigger red presence than a blue presence at this point in time, which means this is going to be a little bit of a pain for the team in blue, but they can still get out of this ahead. We're looking at the frowny count. We're a 1 for 1 right now. Make it 2 for 1 to the red team with 2. Make it 3 for 3, the even trades. And here we go. 5 for 3, 6 for 3. There is 6 for 4. It's looking so far a little bit better for the red team, but this can change at any moment. 6 for 5. Oh boy. 6 for 7. And what are we looking at? Oh my goodness. 8 for 9. Oh my, I've just lost count. Tons of reds though. We are seeing more red frownies. 3 red frownies going out, 4 red frownies to the 2 blues. Even with the presence, the red team is just not able to take this middle out. This middle is consistent of a ton of AoE and debuffs. We're seeing Guans all over the place. We're seeing Artemisias all over the place. We're seeing Edward Tamaris all over the place. We are seeing debuffer and buffers like crazy. What else we're seeing here? We're seeing here Nebus. We're seeing here Cyruses with Rams, with everything. Every AoE possible in the middle is here. I'm not even seeing that many. There's a ton of Zhang Yus. I am not seeing that many Williams, Saladin Williams, believe it or not. A lot more Zhang Yus, a lot more archers, a lot more of the AoE, and the arc does go in favor of the blue team, who pick it up, and now they're bailing out with it. They have a decent distance from the Temple of Osiris towards their side, which is a good lead for them. They have cleared this middle out yet again. Red team pretty much gone. Tons of blue marches all over the place. They will take this arc carrier down, but there is just not enough red presence in here to do much for this arc. And the blue team once again taking this other arc, the first arc in the game, taking the middle and showing PX34 they're going to be doing so much. They're going to have to be doing so much better than this to beat a team like UCS. And so with that being said, the map is on the even playing field. So thankfully for the team in blue, they've gathered their Shrine of Life back. So they're now only 80 points behind on an 1,800 point lead that the team in blue have, plus another 3,000 points coming to the bank of the homies in 60 GT. But now there is still a lot of time. This is not the end of the match like last match. Again, 43 long minutes remain. The folks in PX34 need to realize that for them the points per minute game has to be more important. They cannot win this middle. They have to win the points per minute game, and they have to slow down the amount of arcs 60 GT get. In 60 GT's position, all they need to do is cap arcs, as many capped arcs as humanly possible. They should not, by any means of imagination, consider even holding onto an arc. This arc should literally be going here. Right now, another arc, let's go. Because the folks in blue are absolutely the top team for middle. And so they are going to have to make sure that everything rotates around middle, because if everything rotates around middle, then they will absolutely 100% win this match. If they want the middle to dictate the pace, they're going to need the middle to be the determining factor they're going to be the determining factor. You don't know. Okay. First and foremost, you guys need to stop arguing whether it's via what's the cause of this. At the end of the day, both teams are playing on a fairly even playing field, and the difference is not the 2,000, 3,000 march in each person that has VIP 18 more than the other side. This is strictly all about strategy. This is about their capabilities, and this is about their synergy. This is a team play. And so y'all are arguing with each other what's the real reason this is happening. At the end of the day, the bottom line is the team in blue has been looking extremely better than the team in red in every shape and form, and that doesn't have to be about how many troops they have, but rather about their timings. Look at this scenario right here. There's a rally that is already hitting a building that is fairly weak. So now the swarm is half paying attention to the building and half paying attention to the rally. This swarm in the back is late, but what it's going to do is it's going to keep the red team from pushing with all of these marches on the offense. While that's going on, there's a rally on its way to this building, which is not going to get the feel of the defense it needs. That is 60 GT dictating the pace. Look at these guys. They're just bailing on the folks of PX34 that are going towards the building, and they're aiming at the Shrine of War. What they're trying to do is they're just trying to keep PX34 from pushing into the Desert Altar. Now that this is happening and PX34 realize that, and they're like, yeah, we're out of here. What is G60 GT doing? They're suiciding their marches. Their marches are going to be a little bit late to the Desert Altar, but all of these suicided marches will make it back in time to potentially come and help defend the Desert Altar in a coming siege by PX34. PX34 can control the pace now because there is a failed timing by the team in 60 GT. They came down a little bit too late with the rally, and as a result, they did not have enough pressure to hold back this open field swarm that is coming down to their Desert Altar. Now, a little bit of an attempt to just slow the thing down, and here it is. There's a rally on the Desert Altar. This is an opportunity for PX34, who need to just focus on just swarming the life out of this building, because they can catch 60 GT out of position a little bit. Some of the 60 GT folks have not made it back in time to re-defend this building, and you can clearly see that but even with a little bit of marches that are here, they're focusing the right stuff. They focused the rally first. They swarmed the life out of this archer rally, which can be insanely problematic. They don't care about the open field because they know once the rally is dead, their garrison can take care of every single one of these open field marches if they simply keep the building full. So the folks maintaining stuff out here are just going to refill the building once the rally goes down. But the rally isn't going down that quickly. And now there's presence by both teams. This is becoming a little bit better for PX34. In the meantime, in their back lines, they're defending against the Sky Altar that is getting sieged on. There's a rally, and the open field swarm has now arrived. The rally wasn't taken out in time, so now it's not only a rally whammy, but also an open field march swarm going on. There comes a Jadwiga to replace the garrison, and that Sky Altar is looking a little bit rough. The Desert Altar looking also rough for 60 GT, who were caught indeed out of time off of their timing with this, and nonetheless they managed to get a little bit of a defense going on. They managed to push down PX34's defense and attack, and as you can see, rally goes away. The offense is done, but there goes the rally that is supposed to be timed with the marches of open field marches. And unfortunately, because of PX34's exact move right here, which is to they completely threw off the timings of 60 GT. Take a look at this situation. Now, the open field swarm that was here previously, that was ready to come in with a rally, is not going to make it before the rally gets there. Once the rally gets there, as long as PX34 have enough people in here, just a couple of people in here, you have two marches right there, for example, that can swarm this rally down. Once this rally can get swarmed down before the open field reinforcements come in, that's how you throw off the timings. You can see here a failed attempt on throwing off 60 GT's timing because the rally hit and the open field swarm arrived, and it's just impossible to defend when that is going on. But right now, look at this situation. In this particular frontier, in this lane, PX34 managed to offset the timings of 60 GT a little bit. And in this particular lane, which is the Desert Altar Shrine of War, the Shrine of War defense is extremely good. The rally is going to be taken out. And now look at all these full marches making their way to potentially go on the aggression. There is a rally already marching on this Desert Altar back. And the open field's potential out here for the 60 GT is not as strong as they were fighting both the defense when it was needed and then also went on the offense. So now the timing, again, is in favor of PX34. PX34 should be able to grab this Desert Altar away from 60 GT because this particular lineup managed to get a little bit of the timing right. However, here comes the offset. Here come a few people who managed to get back in time. Look at Samo right here. Samo's march was booted back, and he's already got a Jadwiga on her way back home. There's more marches coming in, and I mean, the rally is going to hit, and there is a little bit of an open field situation here, and there is some folks in blue that are still here to defend the building. In this particular scenario, there is going to be a fairly big clash down here. Red team grabbing their Sky Altar back makes a lot of sense. They need to get their buildings back, but they are down, way down. They're down 200 points every single minute that goes on, and they are only down by about 2,200, 2,300 points, which is insignificant considering there is an Ark of Osiris that is going to score 3,000 points for the team in blue. Now, I don't know why 60 GT are holding on to Arks. Considering they own the middle, they could have literally just grabbed 4 Arks this game and won this game. However, they're choosing to hold on to the Ark, so this 2,300 point lead is deceiving. It is without a 3,000 point Ark, which is still going to go in favor of the blue team any moment. Speaking of blue team, they also grab a Shrine of Life away from the red team, and they're still holding on to it. Desert Altar being defended but aggressed on at the same time. Here comes a 60 GT timing push with a rally. Their open field is already here. They're going to get there just in time with their rally, and this Desert Altar defense is going to need to hold a lot. We're talking about an open field swarm, which is also going to have a rally defending it, which is also going to have also other marches coming in to kind of cut off middle rotations and potentially come and help the Desert Altar. And so, big problem for PX34, who are now focusing on these swarming marches that are coming in, and they're trying to top a couple of these marches out, but that's not your focus. Your focus should be the rally. Once it hits the building, the rally needs to get swarmed down, and it needs to get swarmed down fast, because the open field swarm that is coming in is going to be huge, and PX34 are about to go down under pressure big time as hard push gets used by PX34. They're looking to pick up a building, potentially a Desert Altar that they're fighting up on the top, looking decent, but the garrison down below is looking rough. Jadwiga needing some help, and there's a rally, an open field swarm, blue frownies everywhere, and it's not helping. It is not helping at all. Building is still holding, but not too long. There is a big swarm in here by the blue team. Red team needs to get rid of this rally right now. And after that, there's the swarmers and Artemisias and tons of Ethelfleds and all over. The Lord have mercy what's hitting this building. And it looks like the defense for PX34 is holding well. The offense, however, did not do too good on that Desert Altar. And now they're going to need to figure out how they offset the Shrine of War. There was the rally on the Shrine of War, and that rally indeed failed. You can see the rally right there going home. Red team re-securing their Shrine of War, but losing again their Sky Altar up on the top, which means, guess what? The points per minute go back in the favor of the blue team by 310. Less than that now, 230 points every single minute for the team in blue, and they're still holding on to a 3,000 point Ark, and they're holding on to it for as long as they can. Jadwiga garrison means rest in peace trying to pick up this building back anytime soon. The folks in PX34 are swarming the life out of it, but there's also a swarm for the blue team doing whatever it can just to be a nuisance, just to slow down the pace for PX34. For the team in blue, what they're trying to do is not only hold on to buildings as long as they can, but they're also trying to make sure that they at least delay the other team from picking up their own buildings back. And that is a result of years and years of Rise of Kingdoms experience. Some of these folks know that it's much better off for them to just hold on to a building that belongs to the enemy and just do whatever they can to just hold. You don't even care at this point about picking up the building, losing the building, or any of that. What you're trying to do is just get as many pieces of people in here to try to take the building back. 60 GT know they can hold on to this building. They've known this. Now what they're doing is they're trying to get to the point where PX34 have to submit a substantial amount of their marches into retaking their own buildings. And when that happens, that substantial amount of marches is not available to siege the enemy's buildings. You can see a clear difference in terms of blue versus red marches. The blue marches have the building and have the swarm out here to the point where the red team is actually rallying their own building to try to get it back. And so all of this time, PX34 finally taking their own building back, trying to stop the bleeding at a 3,500 point lead for the team in blue and a 3,000 point arc being held 150 points every single minute for the team in blue as well. It don't look too good at all, ladies and gentlemen. 4,000 point lead is almost here. And with an Ark carrier who is holding onto the Ark for another couple of minutes, he's just chilling, doing his thing. I mean, 60 GT are being nice to PX34. If 60 GT wanted, all 60 GT need to do is simply deliver this Ark as fast as they can, so another one proc so that they can get it again and they can proc and so forth and so on, because you know what? They are the kings of middle right now. They know they can beat middle. However, they're giving a little bit of a life rope, keeping this game a little bit close for us to enjoy. But realistically speaking, I mean, this match, oh boy, can PX34 somehow find momentum? Can they somehow find a way to shift things around? Because 60 GT, who seem to have lost their timings on this lane, managed to get them back in a very good fashion. They're making sure that the PX34 are at least not aggressing, which is a good start. And now they're just chilling. They know that they own buildings. They know that they own their points per minute game. They own 6,600 points worth of a lead as the Ark is delivered. And in 8 minutes, there's another Ark. The blue team can straight up just go towards the middle and just wait and grab another Ark. And that's that. Red team is doing everything they can just to hold on to their buildings at this point. I do not remember when was the last time the red team have converted a blue building in this match, if at all, at this point in time. Right now, it's the blue team that continually convert buildings away from the red team, and the red team, with the exception of a few, I believe, outposts in the beginning, haven't really gotten much done. Here comes an open field fight and a nice little rally on this Jadwiga. Archer rally on a Jadwiga is definitely not something you're looking to do. Jadwiga came in here exactly for this, to stop the Archer rallies from being a thing. And while they are doing a decent amount of work, I gotta say, and with an open field swarm, now it's looking very nice. There's another rally out here by Archers, and this is a refill rally meant to help refill the Archer rally. And so they break apart. Now that they're broken apart, they are now making sure they're going to join this rally. And because the team in blue is focused not on the rally, but on the open field for some reason, this might actually be a first take for the team in red, who are now refilling the rally with a little bit of a power to keep going. And this garrison is looking weak. Red team looking to convert a building for the first time in this game. That is not the desert, the whatchamacallit, the outpost or whatever the heck it is. But anyway, chat, if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to slap a like on it and hit that subscribe down below as we continue this. Sky Altar is still blue. It's not red yet, but there's a massive rally in here. Blue team is refilling the buildings consistently, and they own the Sky Altar, the Shrine of Life, I mean, and they own a beautiful 80 point per minute lead. So for them, this is what they need to do. They just need to hold, but there is a rally here halfway down. Building could be full, for the record. The building being red doesn't mean that it's empty at all. It could have a full building. What this means is that there were probably like 8 or 9 million troops that participated in this garrison, and therefore 1.5 million troops in the garrison right now is a red marker. PX34 with the pressure on, though. The rally is doing good. The open field is doing good. Jadwiga is holding for dear life. This garrison has still a lot of depth onto it. In the meantime, Sky Altar at the top is being rallied as well. Let's see who takes who's what. Guess what? Blue team take the Sky Altar away from the red team. Can the red team do the same? Can they take the blue Sky Altar away from them? They're going to need to get it done. But the blue team keep pouring in a slight march, another march, another march, another march. Slow and steady, one by one. And these one-by-one marches just keep holding just a little bit longer. There comes another Jadwiga, and she's going to make it into the building just in time. She's trying to get in. It now finally gets in. Captain swap. It has to happen right now. Blue team trying to get more marches in here. They just keep micro-filling, and their timing is impeccable. Jadwiga Garrison is more than likely what we're seeing. This should be a bug. There she is right there. The rally is still hitting, and there is a slight swarm still. This building is holding extremely well. On the top side, a first conversion for the team in red. Shrine of Life, that's blue, goes red. But the blue Sky Altar, the red Sky Altar is blue. Very bad news to make that worse. Make that Shrine of War blue, baby. It's supposed to be red, but it's not. Blue team take over most of the map. And oh my goodness, PX34, 8,000 points behind. Chat, if you're enjoying the cast, don't forget to slap a like on it, because a lot of you are going to dip very soon, because this match is going to be too hard to come back from. But nonetheless, we are going to cast through and talk about the strategies, talk about everything, answer your questions. And now the red team is trying to do something. They are trying, but they're simply not able to win a points per minute situation. 230 points every single minute for the team in blue, who are already posturing towards middle. They can afford to posture towards middle. Red team is doing the same, and they have a little bit of a presence here, and the big clash in the middle is going to happen yet again. Paranoia using the hasty skill to get somewhere quicker. Lord knows where they're trying to get faster. They're probably trying to save their Shrine of War from going down. If their Shrine of War goes down in this middle fight, it is not going to be good news. That Sky Altar, by the way, held. The Sky Altar for 60 GT held. For crying out loud, they poured in the troops, and it held. While that's going on, Shrine of War is still secured, and it's still being sieged, but it is red nonetheless, and it's looking much better than it looked previously. Red team posturing towards middle. Red team taking the Shrine of Life away from the blue team means that they are evening the points per minute game, and they might even take a slight lead very, very soon. And so now, what is the next step? What is the next scenario? Blue team swapped buildings, and now they swapped them back to the red team. Now it's point per minute game. And luckily for the red team, they managed to even it out, even though they don't own all their buildings just yet. They're about to lock in 2 Shrines of Life. And once they do, they'll take a slight lead in the points per minute game. But they're down a dumb amount of points. They're down almost 8,000 points. They're going to need a 3,500 point arc to kind of bring things back to concise, awesome stuff to potentially try to come back into this. But, and I keep saying but all the time because it's just, it is what it is. It's just not going to be possible without an arc. And so far, PX34 have lost 3 out of 4 arcs, right? Or 4 out of 5 arcs. They've managed to get one arc back at last match, and that's it. That is all we got available in the middle, and they're throwing up blood because they know it's about to get bloody. They're going to need to get everything they can into this middle to maybe secure this arc. But the blue team know. They know that if they take this arc, it's game. They know that if they take this arc, it don't matter no more. There's 25 long minutes remaining, and 60 GT are simply making sure that this game goes into the bag for them. Once they put an arc chilling in the background, and there's 25 minutes remaining, there's pretty much not going to be anything the red team is going to be able to do to come back into this. And so they know this, and they just pour in every single march they have. For the blue team, losing every single building right now is not a problem. They don't care. It could be a problem. If they lose the buildings and lose them from now until the end of the game, then it's a big problem. But losing a building where they can grab it back in a couple of minutes, even if it gives a little bit of points for PX34, is nothing for 60 GT if they can 100% guarantee an arc pickup. And now, they were outnumbered previously and still managed to get it done. This time around, they have numbers. They have a lot of numbers. So I have a feeling this middle fight is going to be taken down much quicker than it was previously for the folks of 60 GT. They're going to grab this arc and they're going to dip out of here. And the real question is, can PX34 find the energy, find the spirits in trying to get this arc in some shape or form? And if they can't, I mean, what on earth? What on earth can they do now? Chat, if you're enjoying the stream, slap a like on it, hit that sub down below. I keep saying that, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. 60 GT, proccing the skill ahead of time. They're going to be the ones engaging. They know they have the numbers. They know they have the advantage. 48 seconds means none of these guys are going to be able to come back into the middle. Look at the red team falling back. They're like, nah, the engagement is too early for us. And some of them are like, no, it's not. Go in. And while that happens, the blender is turned on. A blue team that is fully engaged and fully all in to the death and everything, going balls to the wall. into this middle fight, and they know they need to turn on the grinder while the red team tries to figure out whether the grinder is actually going to go down right now or not. Lord have mercy, what is going on in this middle fight? Red team is about to start getting chummed down. They are, so far though, doing the damage to 60 GT. There's a nice little presence by the folks in red. They are indeed starting it strong, but that's how it always starts. And then out of nowhere, the team in blue turns it on. But so far, red team is looking like they're holding on very well. Now it's time. The Ark of Osiris has appeared. The fight is happening on the red team's side, so that's good news. Nobody's picking it up from the blue team's side. There's an 8-second arc pickup right there. If the folks in red don't pay attention, this guy in 60 GT is going to be gone with the arc. He picks up the arc right there and dips. There we go. Nobody is in here to try to stop this arc carrier. The whole fight is happening down here, and in the meantime, the blue team is like, nope, we out. We're going to backdoor this out of here. Now the red team is all focus the arc carrier, get the arc carrier. And while everybody's running towards the arc carrier, the blue team is just blending them in slowly and steadily. You can see there the cloud of red march is going towards the arc carrier. Now they pick up the arc. They have surrounded the arc and secured the arc's area. They can probably pick up an arc and get it back towards the temple's territory. But the blue team slowly and steadily cleaned up here and cleaned up well. PX34 do indeed pick up this arc and are indeed trying to bring it back towards their side. There is our favorite name in the game, Sam. I always have to count because there's 5 Sams. We got to get it done. And so the arc gets lost. Blue team just clean up in middle aisle. Thank you very much. And Dark Tokyo Gaming says 800 watching and 100 likes. Please drop some likes. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But in the meantime, 60 GT are picking up this arc and they're gone. They are gone. They've cleaned up in the middle aisle, and now they're on their way to clean up whatever other mess PX34 left behind. 8,000 point differential between these two teams, and a 3,500 point arc looking to make this a 12,000 point lead for the team in blue, who are looking to win a Osiris League Grand Final in a fashion. They ain't looking. Gecko's talking as if Lilith is watching his stream. Nah, Lilith ain't watching my stream. I can promise you that Lilith are watching the official Rise of Kingdoms channel, if anything. And so blue team clean up aisle middle, now clean up top and bottom. Looks like blue team are aiming towards the bottom more than blue, but there's some people going to the top as well to poke the bear up top. In the meantime, the folks in red are just shell-shocked. Folks in Yan, or whoever the heck Husan loves Yan, is aiming towards the desert altar, but the middle defense, the middle guys are just pouring out all over the place. Some of them are going back to defend buildings on both sides, right there. Others are going on the aggro, specifically Shrine of War, Desert Altar and Shrine of War. And so at this stage, you had a middle take that the blue team took, and now they own all this territory and they can go wherever they want to go. And as a result, they have now presence on the field in pretty much every building in this game. And that is hugely problematic. And so here we go. What do we got? 1 second. Let's take a look. Blue team swarming the desert altar. What else we got going on? Here comes the rally. Look at the timing. Look at the impeccable timing of the team in blue, whose rally arrives just at the same time as their open field swarm is about to get here. There is a Cao Cao garrison in this building, which tells us pretty much the whole story. The folks in blue are just shell-shocking the guys in red. Guys in red are losing it, just losing it. And it's not losing it because they're a bad team, but it's just because they're not able to do anything against 60 GT, who seem to be the completely dominant team in this match, which is kind of crazy to see, but nonetheless, it's cool to see the folks in 60 GT doing what they gotta do in order to win this Osiris League Grand Finals. I appreciate every one of you guys who has been leaving some nice comments in the chat. At this point, we're kind of going to open it up to reading the chat as well as kind of commentating. I usually am in caster mode, but at this point in time, it's just done. This match we're looking at a 10,000 point differential, 8,000 point differential with a 3,500 point arc coming home, a 12,000 point lead by the time all of this is done. So if any of you have any comments, any questions, anything, now is the time. We can do it interactively while casting this match. Where are the goods, the bads, the the loopholes. And I'll tell you what, the number one building that gets the least defense and the hardest one to defend, and the one that has caused the most issues to most teams, by the way, is the Sky Altar. For some weird reason, the Sky Altar, which is extremely close to an obelisk, is just so far out there that if your attack is sneaky enough and make their way through and through, with this in here in the middle, this like structure right here, it's really, really like weird how the attack happens on Sky Altars. And a Sky Altar is exactly where majority of the damage is being done for most teams. When we lost Osiris League Season 2, and when we made it to the top 4, we lost by simply not being able to hold on to our Sky Altar at all. And so it's the same kind of thing happening. The extremities are really tough to defend. Most people keep an eye on the Desert Altar and the Shrine of War. The Shrine of Life usually doesn't get as much love, and neither does the Sky Altar. But as you can see, if you have teams that are dedicated to garrisoning it, as like PX34 looking to take a Shrine of Sky Altar up on the top, look at the amount of people in here for 60 GT that they know this is what it takes. It takes 2 to 3, more than that, full players, 15 to 20 marches out here on the field next to this building. And the problem is this building is so far out of nowhere that the marches that are committed to be here are pretty much either going to stay here or they're going to go aggress on a Shrine of Life that isn't as significant usually. And so you can see right here the folks in PX34 trying to get a Shrine of War away from 60 GT. The Ark Carrier passed by. He didn't even care. He's going to the obelisk, and he's just going to chill by the obelisk with the Ark, which is going to be their 100% tickets to success. Although with a almost 8,000 point lead, it's going to be extremely hard, even with a points per minute game with 16 minutes remaining in the match. It's going to be extremely hard to come back into a match like this because there's just not much time left. Even if you take hard push right now, that's a minute's occupation per building. So even if all the buildings turn from blue to red right now, it's going to leave them 15 and a half minutes left worth of occupation. And that, in that case, will be a point in which they can come back, kind of. But they're going to need that kind of a situation. Pick up right now of all the buildings and a 1 minute take of the buildings, which is just not going to happen. And so at the worst case scenario, we're looking at a 5 minutes in which all the buildings go into the red team. That's 10 minutes remaining in the match. That's still not enough with 1,100 points lead on the match total. What commander would I marry, kiss, or kill? Good question. I would probably marry Matilda. I would probably kiss Constance. And I would probably kill... Heck, I would probably kill Xeno. She's too strong. She's just too strong. Xeno's too strong, chat. I'd be like, yep, can't have you on Earth. Did I see Chandra Moctezuma? You did. There's a lot of interesting combos in here. Very specific for Osiris League. Remember that the pairs that you're going to see on the field right now, for the record, the troops you're going to see on the field and the pairs you're going to be seeing on the field are very specific for Ark of Osiris, and more specifically and more like micro-specific to Osiris League. And so keep in mind that these guys have all the commanders maxed out. They have everything. And so they are using marches for exact specific roles. They're not the best marches necessarily for like field fights or stuff like that. He's really thinking about these cartoons. He's really too condescending looking at us from up top that he's thinking about these cartoons. You're watching cartoons on the screen and a guy playing a game, just saying. The Boom Shakala and Sarka. I'm staying away from that. Tamo is your love. Oh boy. Everybody's trying to kill Xeno, the meta. Exactly. Exactly. No problem, James. Blue team grabbing a Shrine of Life. It's just going from bad to worse. 8,000 point lead for the team in blue. And 13 minutes remaining in this match. The Ark, someone from the red team just made the cardinal sin. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but someone from the red team killed the Ark Carrier and picked up the Ark. The Ark carrier then got killed, and in the process, when they picked up the Ark, they reset the timer. Essentially, this made sure that the Ark will never spawn again. This is the worst thing you can do as anyone, right? If there's an Ark carrier among cities of the other team, tapping him, trying to yoink an Ark, all it does is it resets the timer. And that means the other team is going to be able to hold on to their building, to their Ark even longer. Like, look at the timer. It was close to the 8-minute marker, and now it's back to 14 because the red team picked up the Ark. Then it got new dope, dropped, and the blue team picks it up. Timer reset yet again, 15 minutes. What can you do? Oh, I was thinking hard on it? Yes, I was thinking hard on it because there is a lot of options. For example, I left Artemisia out, which if I had the roster of commanders in front of me, I wouldn't have thought about it that much. I was trying to think, who are the ladies out here? I would also probably say that I could see myself either marry or kiss Artemisia. She's a warrior, bros. She's a warrior. We didn't even say anything about Ethelflaed. Damn. Too many good-looking cartoons, my man. Too many good-looking cartoons. Everyone knows you love Constantine. Constantine? You mean Constance. This match is full of archers everywhere. Someone said on Facebook, archer only for noobs. Archers are good in this mode because you're not taking deads, and so it's all AoE out the wazoo. You're seeing archers all over the place because they are fast, they cause AoE, they do decent amount of damage, and you don't care for them, right? I wish we fight 60 GT in future KVKs. It can happen. It can happen sooner than you think. Nice, Bronny. You're the first green badge. Congrats. There it is. Jadwiga equals jail. Does it? Is she a minor? What made you determine she's a minor? Nice green GG, Bronny. The first member to be a member for 2 years. Chat, if you're enjoying the stream, again, don't forget to slap a like on it. Hit that subscribe down below. If you want to help out the channel even further, help out the Gecko gaming community grow. We have 2 other channels. The Galactic Gecko channel, which is sponsored by Infinite Galaxy. And we have the PokeGecko channel. We do a lot of Pokemon stuff. Pokemon Unite content coming out very soon on that channel, as well as some more exciting card-related stuff. Videos are just a little bit delayed due to editing, but you want to help out the channel a little bit extra. We got to get those 1,000 subs on both of them, so I don't know if you feel like helping out. I can definitely see which one of you subscribe right now, because those 2 channels are actually enabled on my phone, so I can see emails when you guys subscribe. So I'm just saying. Anyway. Building is blinking for the red team. Blue team trying to take a Shrine of War away from the red team right before the end. 10 minutes remaining in this match. 8,000 point lead for the team in blue, who also have an Ark of Osiris stashed back here. There's an attempt on taking a funny obelisk away from the team in blue. Not going to happen. That I can tell you for a fact. Gyro? What's with the spam? How did 60 GT win Middle so easily? It's a combination of just a dumb amount of AoE and the right commanders in the right place. So what they send out is strictly AoE commanders. You have your Yangyu marches, you have your William marches, you have your Guan marches, and then from then you have all the archer marches, Artemisia YSG, Ramses, Osiris, Nebu. And so what they're doing is they're AoEing out the wazoo. Every single march is doing damage not only to the one they're attacking, but also to 4 other marches in a circular AoE. So, yeah. Bronny's support of the content creators is amazing. I still remember him monitoring Chisco's donation bank for his restart project 2 years ago. Yeah. Yep. I can craft my first legendary Hope Cloak. Should I wait for the refinement update? I would wait, yes. I would wait until the last minute. Until you have to have the equipment available. You don't need to wait for the update, but I would wait for the last minute before you need the equipment and then do it. Thank you, King Topin. Appreciate you. We're going to try to commentate more arcs on the off season. If I get some good arcs going on, we're going to commentate those throughout the regular season. We'll try to get at least 1 or 2 casts a week so that we maintain our arc casting, and you guys can use this channel for a little bit of learning material and what's going on with the arc scene in general. But we do cast every single Osiris League now that we're not sponsored by the Rise of Kingdoms anymore. We cast on this channel and not on the official channel. Next season, yet again, we will be casting once more. Every single match we can cast. We'll start from probably from the playoffs on, because then that's when it gets a little bit more interesting than the wishy-washy matches that happen in the early stages. But you never know. And again, this match is just, well, as it was intended to be at this point. 13,000 point lead for the team in blue. 7 minutes remaining in this match. There's just nothing the red team can do. Not even an arc pickup or winning in provisions. They're losing 610 points every single minute. So every single minute, the team in blue is gaining another 610 points worth of a lead. So 60 GT are just looking to run away with it. They're like, yeah, PX34, you guys are done. And this is done. 13,000 points is a huge difference with an arc that is going to spawn just at the timer is exactly the same timer as the time left in the match. It's kind of cool that they did that. Maybe a second off. And so definitely no more arcs. 13,000 points where you're losing the points per minute game. On top of that means you're going to have to somehow by a miracle glitch your provisions into provisioning more than feasibly possible. I don't think so. Thanks for the casting. I invest in Nebu or wait for the new Archer Commander. I would wait a little bit for the new Archer Commander. Unless you really, really, really need Nebu and you're going to be using him. You know that if you get him tomorrow, your fights tomorrow you're going to be using him. Then definitely get him. If you're not going to be using him tomorrow, if you can allow yourself to wait, do not expertise any commanders or don't make any equipment until the night before you need them. There is no point in having an expertise commander that you never used or that you expertise on the off season and barely used. Many players' games are crashing. I definitely can see now many reasons why these things are happening and why somehow one team is winning and the other one is losing. I'm sorry to tell you this. Everybody's game can disconnect, and it still won't change the fact that 60 GT are under the same exact conditions, and they're managing to pull through big time. Do I invest on Artemisia or Nebu? Oof, that's a really tough call. That is a really tough call. That's up to you. You need to make that decision. You have Ramses and YSG maxed. Ramses Nebu would give you the rallies. Artemisia, YSG, Artemisia, Tamaris will give you like that field, the support and field stuff. I'd probably take Nebu, even though I love Artemisia, and I think that's just such a tough thing to do. Ramses Nebu is currently like the proper meta. No, Snowflakes, I am staying out of all of this BS. I don't care for any politics. This is the puppets pulling strings and people just going crazy. It's not on me. Like for the Nebu tip, I was just sitting on 800 heads and I have Osiris and YSG max. I just wait for the next archers. I think you're better off just holding on to them just in case. Just in case. Rip PX34. Oh yeah. Lilith fixed the game. Oh yeah. I don't know if the game is. A lot of people are saying the game is crashing quite a lot. A lot of people are saying their game is crashing quite a lot. It looks like, I guess 60 GT paid enough Lilith to make the game crash only for PX34, right? PX34 grabbing a Desert Altar away from 60 GT. Can we get a slow clap? 5 minutes remaining in the match. The blue building finally turns red. I think it's the second or third building all match long of the big buildings that have changed hands, which is kind of nutty. It's kind of nutty. All right, let's take a quick peek at what's going on. 4 minutes remaining in the match. Provisioners should be coming in. People have been provisioning. Insatiable Desire was procced at least once, so we know there are somewhere provisioners for both teams. We know 60 GT have provisioners. There's one of them still chilling until the very last moment. No point in coming back home yet on a 30-40 second march. You got to make sure you're there before the timer runs, or else no points for you, Mr. Kenny. So you got to keep your eye, make sure that, I mean, in the meantime, this homie allowing that gathering to happen. 60, I mean, the folks in PX are still gathering. Everybody's still gathering. So, I mean, a big score in nowadays gathering meta is roughly, I mean, you can get to 7,000, 8,000 points, maybe even 9,000 points if you're grinding, if you have a lot of gatherers. But even then, it's not enough to close a 14,000 point lead, and add to that the fact that the folks in blue are also provisioning. It's just going to make things really, really bad. 60 GT taking Osiris League Grand Finals in a very, very solid way. They did not leave that to imagination. They did not leave that to be close. They did not let us have a best of 3 that'll be a little bit more interesting. They're like, nah, we want the W, and we want the W now. And so they get it. They're about to take it. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this match. And then when that happens, everything is going to end for Osiris League Season 4. And with that being said, 2.5 minutes remaining until the end of Osiris League Season. I don't know if Game 3 will be played. If it does get played, that'll be awesome for us to at least have something to cast. Although I don't think either team will show up, really. Although that's 15 sculptures, so you would show up for the 10,000 points and then just get your sculptures and bail. But nonetheless, Osiris League Season 4 is about to be wrapped up. We had an awesome season this season. We've had the opportunity to play with squad this season and make it to the top 32. And then from there, things did not work out, and we went on to casting mode. While playing, we were also casting Osiris League. We got to cast every single time we had a match available in the top 32, and we weren't playing. We casted well over 15 matches, if not more, this season. We casted every possible time available, as we've gotten to see teams like 60 GT, like PX34, JST, and many, many more making it through and through. What do they win? A new skin. Oh, they win. We'll go through the rewards right now. They're getting a very nice skin, actually. They're getting a very, very nice skin, one that I would definitely take. 3% heal, 10% cavalry health is a very, very good skin for Jadwiga Garrison potential in the future. So for Garrison captains, this Osiris League Grand Final is pretty much a must, because you really need that skin in order to get that Garrison. For the record, I would have had no issue hopping my big account into any of these teams just to grab that skin and come back, kind of thing, to 401. That's how crazy this skin can be for Garrison. 10% health on a cavalry Garrison can be massive with Jadwigas and whatnot. So we're going to see how these teams are going to adapt in their KVKs to using the skin that they're going to get. They got a ton of Legendary Commander Sculptures out of it too. Those Legendary Commander Sculptures, 60 Legendary Commander Sculptures are going to be nutty. Best skin in the game. I don't know if it's the best skin in the game, but it's definitely one of the top 3 for sure. But yeah, I would also, you can definitely call it, because of how meta cavalry is. The 10% health on that cavalry rallies is now going to be massive as well. So very, very important skin that is unfortunately only going to be available for a very select few folks. Thankfully, just like what will happen if we simplify graphics? Nothing. Nothing happens if we untick simplify graphics. It simplified graphics automatically. But we can untick it. The Ark appears and bam! Get those GGs up in the air, ladies and gentlemen. GG460 GT winners of Osiris League Grand Final Season 4. PX34, the runner-ups of the show. And we can see, there was no provisions for the team in red. They wanted nothing. PX34 won in nothing. Even in units healed, they lost, which is kind of hilariously funny. They have more occupations because they had to take their own buildings back, which is actually kind of funny. And they ended up ahead in the occupations because they ended up with a building that didn't belong to them, which is, again, kind of funny. But in the stats, they didn't kill more. They didn't provision more. They didn't occupy more. They didn't arc more. They didn't even heal more. Nothing. And so with a disconnect, let's go look at the end of this Osiris League Season 4. Oh, I'm in LIIT. We were in the middle of Ark. I had to dip in the last 5 minutes of the Ark to cast this Ark, We had an Ark right before we casted this. Chat, before you leave, don't forget to slap a like, hit that sub down below. Help the other 2 channels, Galactic Gecko, Poke Gecko, linked in the description as well. We need to get 1,000 subs, boys and girls. I'm gonna need your help somehow, some way. If y'all wanna help out the brand even further, let's go really quickly get back into the match. It looks like we disconnected altogether. Governor MVP, that doesn't surprise me much. Governor going wild in these matches. He's got the firepower. He's got everything it takes to be the MVP. And yeah, the best of 3 is indeed gone in favor of the folks in G60 GT. It looks like this match is still scheduled. It looks like this match is still going to happen. So we might get another cast next week, but it's going to be probably a very laid back cast, as I'm assuming PX34 won't show up here for this, or someone won't show up. The rewards, as you can see, a beautiful City of Power skin, which 5%, 3% healing speed and 10% cavalry health is insane. Your infantry health decrease, though, is actually pretty strong. So if you're using this, you're not using any infantry. And so on top of that, bam, 15 sculptures every single match. I mean, teams will show up for the next match to get the 10 sculptures and 15 sculptures. Why the heck not? But other than that, chat, it's been a great fun to cast this Osiris League with y'all. I appreciate all of you who've shown up and chose to watch our cast over many other casts going on. And so with that being said, I'm going to head out of here. Thank you again for all your continued support. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Take care. Have a good one. Galactic Gecko, Poke Gecko, help the channels, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get those 1,000 subs. Let's see if we can shout some of you folks out who somehow decided to really quickly get that subscription in. Let's see. Joe Z, thank you for subscribing to the Galactic Gecko channel. And who else we had? What else we got going on? Oh, I don't have those pulled up. Heck, I'm gonna end up telling you guys thank you for all the subs and everything. Anyway, drop a like. See ya. Brawny, I like that. Green, GG. It looks nice on you. Peace. See you guys. Bye. Oh, by the way, very nice on the research. Push research, please. We need the research. Thank you. Bye.